Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing? Doing good? Okay. Okay, so I'm still waiting. So we are around 12 people right now. So I'm still waiting until perhaps 9:03 or 9:02. 9:02 lah. Kita start awal sikit, so nanti kita habis cepat sikit. So 1 more minute. Let us wait for your friends to come in. Where are they? No, hi. Yang dah sampai. Hai, hai, hai. Is it clear? Okay ke? Sound hari ni okay? Kalau tak okay, kena tukar mic. No gaming chair. I have them. But today, not today. Gaming chair not today. Hari ni saja lepak-lepak chill kat bawah je. Nak habiskan chapter 7 kan? Okay, so it's 9:02 already. So let us start. So let me go to the slide. Okay, so we are at the last lecture for trigonometric function. So today we are going to proceed with solution of trigonometric equation. So last time we have done the substitution. So today we are going to learn how to do the other cos, theta plus minus alpha, as well as the other sine, theta plus minus alpha. Okay, so let's start then. Oh, by the way, hi. Untuk siapa yang say hi tu, hi again. Okay, so the learning outcome. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to express A sine theta plus minus with B cos theta in the form of R sine theta plus minus alpha or R cos theta minus plus alpha. So I'm going to teach you how to change from A sine theta plus minus B cos theta into something with R sine or something with R cos. And then to solve A sine theta plus minus with B cos theta equal to C by either using R sine or R cos, and then determine the maximum and minimum values of trigonometric expression in the form of A sine theta plus minus with B cos theta. Okay, so now let us go to the first learning outcome. Express A sine theta plus minus B cos theta in the form of R sine theta plus minus alpha or R cos theta minus plus alpha. Okay, so basically the expression A cos theta plus B sin theta can be expressed in the form of R cos theta minus alpha, where R is a positive number, so R needs to be greater than 0, and alpha is simply an acute angle, so alpha is somewhere in between 0 and 90 degree. Okay, so let's say R cos theta minus alpha is equal to A cos theta plus with B sin theta. And then let us expand or let us use the formula for cos theta minus alpha. So it will become cos theta cos alpha plus sin theta sin alpha. And then you times them with R. So we are going to get R cos theta cos alpha plus with R sin theta sin alpha equal to A cos theta plus with B sin theta. Okay, so what we are going to do next is that we are going to compare the left hand side and right hand side. Okay, so how to compare? So let me take the highlight. Okay, so this is basically cos theta. So this is also cos theta. Okay, so since we do have the equal sign, it simply means that the left hand side should be equal to the right hand side. So we can directly compare the coefficient on the left hand side and right hand side. So if we compare the coefficient of cos theta, so we have cos theta over here, cos theta over here. So it simply means that the r cos alpha need to be equal to a. And then if we compare for the sine theta, so let us change the color a little bit. In green will look a little bit nice. So sine theta over here, and this is sine theta. And again, you compare the left hand side and right hand side, compare the coefficient. So over here we have r sine alpha, and this is equal to b. Okay, so do make sure to get two equations. So for the first equation, you compare for the cos theta. So equate the coefficient of cos theta. And then comparing the coefficient for sine theta, you're going to get the second equation. So the coefficient of cos theta, r cos alpha is equal to a. For sine theta, we are going to get r sine alpha equal to b. So now our aim is that we want to know what is the value for the r, and then we want to know what is the value for the alpha. Okay, so basically, how can we get that? All right, so we are going to square both of them, and then we're going to add them together. Because if we square them, we are going to end up with r square cos square alpha plus with r square sine square alpha, and this is equal to a square plus with b square. Basically, this is r square, this is also r square, so that means you can easily factorize the r square outside. So factorizing r square, we are going to end up with cos square alpha plus sine square alpha multiplied with r square equal to a square plus with b square. And then as you can see, we got similar angle over there. So cos square something plus sine square something, the same angle. So this is basically equal to 1. So we got r square multiplied with 1 equal to a square plus with b square. And then of course we need to find out what is the value of r. So applying square root on both sides, we are going to get r is equal to the square root of a square plus with b square. Right, so even though when we apply the square root, we are supposed to have the plus and the minus, but if we refer back to the definition that we already wrote down earlier, we said that the value of r need to be greater than 0. So that is the reason why we simply take the positive. Okay, so now if you take the second equation, you divide with the first equation. So we're going to have r sine alpha over r cos alpha equal to b over a. And then, of course, you can easily divide the r with r. And then sine alpha over cos alpha, that is actually tangent. So the way we divide them is that we get a tangent. So always make sure it's supposed to be a sine over a cos. So kadang-kadang tak semestinya second equation over with the first equation. Sometimes we might need to do the first equation over with the second equation. So simply find out and make sure to have a tangent. So sine over cos. Okay, so tangent alpha is simply equal to b over a. And then if you want to calculate your alpha, you simply find out what is the arctangent of b over a. So we simply use the arctangent of b over a. So that one will be the value of alpha. Okay, so hence the expression of a cos theta plus with b sin theta can be expressed in the form of r cos theta minus alpha, where the value of the r is simply the square root of a square plus with b square, and tangent alpha is actually equal to b over a. Okay, so normally I'll give you some tips in order to know whether are we going to use r cos or r sin. So I'll give you one tips. So sometimes the question will let you know, but if the question didn't let you know, perhaps you need to debate whether do you want to use r cos or r sin. So my tips will be, if the question didn't let you know, then if this is cos, you definitely use r cos. But for cos, you need to use a different sign. So this one will be a plus, this one will be a minus. So that means if you have a sin theta plus with b cos theta, then it will simply be r sine theta and then plus with alpha. So for sine, this is sine, this is sine. So we're going to keep the sign. So sine, sine, plus, plus. But for cos, 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 plus, minus. So different sign for the cos, but make sure you have the same sign for the sine. Okay, next. Alright, so we can easily conclude that if we have a cos theta plus minus b sine theta, so it will be r cos, but do make sure to use the opposite sign. So if you have a plus over here, it should be a minus over here, a plus over here, where the value of the r is the square root of a square plus with b square, because you have to square both equation and then take the square root in order to get the value. And then tangent of alpha is simply b over a. If we have a sine theta plus minus with b cos theta equal to r sine theta plus minus alpha. So this is sine, this is also sine. So we keep the sign. So plus will become a plus, minus will become a minus. Again, the value of the r is simply the square root of a square plus with b square, and tangent of alpha is simply b over a. Okay, so now let us continue with the example. Okay, so example 1, express 2 cos theta plus 3 sin theta in the form of r cos theta minus alpha, where r is greater than 0, so r is a positive number, and alpha is an acute angle, so alpha is somewhere in between 0 and 90 degrees. Okay, so firstly, let us write them down. So 2 cos theta plus with 3 sin theta. So this is actually equal to r cos theta minus alpha. So they did tell us what do we need to use. So kita kena gunalah benda yang dia bagi. Kalau dia tak bagi, we can easily see this is cos. So that is why this is cos. This is positive. So that's the reason why we are having something with negative over here. This is theta. So that is why this one is theta. Okay, so now r cos theta minus alpha. So we basically going to use the formula for that. So cos A minus B. If you refer to the formula, it will be cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. Except that now the A is actually our theta, the B is actually our alpha. So every time you see your A, replace them with theta, theta. The B is alpha, alpha. And then, of course, we're going to times everything with R. So this expansion belong inside here. So you simply times them with R. So expand them. So it will give you R cos theta, cos alpha, plus with R sin theta, sin alpha. And then we're going to compare the left hand side and right hand side. So if you have your highlighter, do highlight them. That will be easier to see. So this is cos theta. This is also cos theta. So that means 2 is simply equal to r cos alpha. And then let us use another color. So this is sin theta. This is sin theta. So that means 3 is equal to r sin alpha. So we're going to have two equations that way. So we compare for the cos theta and sin theta. Okay, so the first equation, r cos alpha is equal to 2. The second equation, r sin alpha is equal to 3. So we got the first equation and the second equation. Okay, so do you remember how do we calculate for r? So you can look at your previous notes. How do we get the value of the r? Okay, so basically once you have the first equation and the second equation, you simply need to square both of them and then add them together. So we're going to simply take the sum of the square for the first equation and the second equation. Okay, so first equation square plus with the second equation square. So we're going to have r square cos square alpha plus with r square sin square alpha equal to 2 square plus with 3 square. So do make sure to square on the right hand side as well. And then this one, this is r square, this is also r square. So we can easily factorize the r square. So we're going to end up with cos square alpha plus with sine square alpha multiply with r square. And this is equal to 4 plus with 9. So that is how we get 13. And then cos square alpha plus with sine square alpha, that is simply a Pythagorean identity. So cos square plus sine square simply equal to 1. So we got r square multiplied with 1 equal to 13. And then in order to calculate the value of the r, we simply need to apply the square root on both sides. So r is simply the square root of 13. So basically, if you cannot simplify them, then leave them as this. But if let's say you can simplify them, for example, square root of 8, then do simplify them. So this is square root of 2 multiplied with 4. So this is set 2, set 4. So square root of 4 can be simplified to become 2. So this is 2 set 2. So if you can simplify them, oops, then simplify. If you cannot simplify them, then simply leave your answer in terms of set. Should I write down if you can simplify? Simplify them. If you can. Okay, next. So now I already have the value of the r. So the next one, we need to calculate what is the value of the alpha. So in order to calculate the value of the alpha, I need to obtain a tangent. So it will always be a sine over a cos. So the second equation divide with the first equation. So second over 1. So we're going to have r sine alpha over r cos alpha. So we divide the left hand side first. And then the right hand side is simply 3 over 2. And then you can cancel out the r and the r. Sine over cos, that is simply equal to tangent. So tangent alpha is equal to 3 over 2. And then to calculate the alpha, we simply do the arctangent. So arctangent. So let me write this down for you. Arctangent of 3 over 2. So once you take the arctangent of 3 over 2, you're going to get the value of the alpha, where the alpha is actually 56.3 degree. Okay, so now once we have the value of the r, we already have the value of the alpha. We can simply substitute the value of the r and the alpha. So this is r cos theta minus alpha. So you replace the value of the r. So we already know the value of the r previously. Square root of 13 and alpha is 56.3. Therefore, 2 cos theta plus with 3 sin theta is equal to square root of 13 cos theta minus 56.3 degree. Okay, so done with this. Let us move to the next question. Okay, so now solve a sin theta plus minus b cos theta equal to c by using r sin or r cos. So before this, we only learn how to change from a sin theta plus minus b cos theta into either r sin theta plus minus alpha or into r cos theta plus minus alpha. But now, after we change this into r cos and r sin, we want to solve them. We will let them equal to some value, and then we're going to find out what is the value of our theta. Okay, so now example 2. Express 4 sine 2 theta minus 3 cos 2 theta in the form of r sine 2 theta minus alpha, where r is greater than 0 and alpha is somewhere between 0 and 90 degree. So do you guys realize this is 2 theta? 2 theta. So that is the reason why over here this is also 2 theta. So we should keep the same angle. So 2 theta, 2 theta, also 2 theta. If this one is theta, this one is theta, this is definitely theta. If this is 3 theta, 3 theta, this is also 3 theta. So angle dia kena sama. Okay, so we're going to express them in the form of r sine 2 theta minus alpha first. And then we're going to solve them. 4 sine 2 theta minus 3 cos 2 theta equal to 3. 4 theta somewhere in between 0 and 360. Okay, so firstly, we got to express this for the first part. So I think I'm gonna leave you a few minutes for you to try them because you need to try them on your own first. So let me give you around 4 minutes. So until 9 to 4. So let me give you around 4 minutes for you to calculate the value of the R and the value of the alpha. Once you have the value of the R and the value of the alpha, you can write them down over there. So boleh tulis dekat chat tu, nanti kita chat lah. Okay, so 4 minutes starting from now. All the best. Oh, by the way, Ami, just in case you are still here, hi. Ada yang dah dapat ke nilai R dengan nilai alpha? Dah dapat, jangan segan-segan. Salah pun tak apa, betul pun tak apa. In learning, sometimes we do make some correct choices, sometimes we do make some wrong choices. But that's learning, so kadang-kadang memang akan betul, kadang-kadang akan salah. Anyone would like to share their value of R and their value of alpha? R is 5, alpha 36.87. Okay, so I have one answer over there. Ada orang lain nak bagi answer lagi? Macam DJ baru cakap. Okay, tak pegang, tak dengar ke? Okay, never mind. So do write your answer later on. Okay, so now we're going to express them in the form of other sign, 2 theta minus alpha first. Oh, same answer. Good then. And then we're going to solve the equation. Okay, so let me show you how to calculate the value of the r and the alpha. Okay, so basically for sine 2 theta minus 3 cos 2 theta, so this is equal to r sine 2 theta minus with alpha, and then we can use the formula for sine A minus B. So sine A minus B, sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. So it will become r sine 2 theta cos alpha minus r cos 2 theta sine alpha. And then we're going to compare the left hand side and right hand side. So on the left hand side, we have sine 2 theta. This is sine 2 theta. So that means r cos alpha is equal to 4. So it will become the first equation. And then if you compare for the cos 2 theta, then it simply means that r sine alpha is equal to 3. So you're going to get two equation over there. So r cos alpha equal to 4, r sine alpha equal to 3. And in order to get the value of the r, we simply square both equation and add them together. So first equation square plus second equation square. So r square cos square alpha plus r square sine square alpha. So this is 4 square plus with 3 square. So 4 square is 16. 3 square is 9. So 16, 9, it will become 25 over there. And then for the left hand side, we simply factorize the r square. So cos square plus sine square, again, it should be equal to 1. So r square is equal to 25. So r is simply equal to 5. Right, so good job over there. R is simply equal to 5. So now let us calculate what is the value of the alpha. Okay, so for the first equation, we have a cos. Second equation, we have a sine. So in order to obtain the tangent, we simply need to do the second equation over the first equation. So second over 1. So r sine alpha over r cos alpha. So this is 3 over 4. Cancel out r and r. So sine over cos, it will become tangent. So tangent alpha is 3 over 4. So alpha is simply arctangent 3 over 4. So 36.87. Do we need to put plus minus for 5? No, we don't have to put plus minus for 5. Why? Because over here, in your question, they already told you that the value of r need to be positive. So you don't have to put plus and minus. So we only accept one value of the r, where the r is equal to 5. So this is since r is greater than 0. Okay, we already have the value of the r as well as the alpha. So you simply do the conclusion for them. So 4 sine 2 theta minus 3 cos 2 theta equal to 5 sine 2 theta minus 36.87 degree. So we already expressed them in the form of r sine theta minus alpha. So now let us solve. So we have to answer the second part, solve for sine 2 theta minus 3 cos 2 theta equal to 3 for theta in between 0 and 360. Okay, so on the left hand side over here, we already expressed them in terms of r sine. So let us replace them with r sine. So we have 5 sine 2 theta minus 36.87 equal to 3. So what should we do next is that we need to have a sine as the subject. So I have to get rid of the 5. So divide with 5. We are going to get sine 2 theta minus 36.87 equal to 3 over 5. And then this is simply a linear function. So that means we're going to calculate the angle first, and then check the quadrant, and then we're going to check the range before we can easily calculate our final answer. Okay, so check the principal angle. So the principal angle is alpha equal to 36.87. So this is for the principal angle. The quadrant So if you draw A as DC, so over here, this is a positive 3 over 5. So we want to get a positive quadrant. So either the first or the second. So that is why we have Q1 and Q2 over here. So the formula for Q1 is theta equal to alpha. The formula for Q2 is 180 minus alpha. So this is for the quadrant PQ, and the third one is for the range. Okay, so this is based on the question. So we have theta in between 0 and 360. So this is given. However, over here, this is actually 2 theta minus 36.87. So I have to modify my range so that it is equal to this one. Okay, so firstly, I have theta over here, and this is theta. So that means I need to times with 2 on the left hand side and right hand side. So do make sure to times with 2 on the left hand side and right hand side. And then simply deduct or minus with 36.87 on the left hand side and right hand side as well. So that means 2 theta minus 36.87 is somewhere in between. So we got a 2 times with 0 minus 36.87. So it will become negative 36.87. Over here, we got 2 multiplied with 360 minus with 36.87. So it will become 683.13. Okay, so now let us check what is our answer. So we got quite a big range over here. So we have something that is more than 360. That means we definitely need to do the second rotation. So the first rotation, so this is 0 up until 360, but we need to go up until 683. So we have to go along the second rotation. Okay, so that means 2 theta minus 36.87. So the answer for the first quadrant is 36.87. We simply have our alpha over there. And then the second quadrant, 180 minus with alpha. So this is 180 minus with alpha. And like I told you previously, the range that we have is bigger than 360. So that means we need to consider the second rotation as well. So you simply take the first value, you plus with 360, and then take the second value, you plus with 360. So it will become 360 plus with alpha. And then another one is 360 plus with 180 minus 6.87. So now we simplify them a little bit. So we got that 2 theta is 73.74, 180 433.74 together with 540. So what did I do over here is that I simplify each of them, and then I simply add them with 36.87. So that is how we get this 4 value. And now in order to get the theta, because we want to know what is the value of theta, we divide everything by 2. So the final answer for theta is 36.87, 90 degree, 216.87, and another one is 270. So that is the final answer for the second example. Okay, so no more question. I can go to the next one. Right, so now determine the maximum and minimum values of trigonometric expression in the form of a sine theta plus minus with b cos theta. Right, so basically a sine theta plus with b cos theta can be rewritten using an expression of the form of r sine theta plus minus alpha or r cos theta minus plus alpha, where r is a positive number and alpha is somewhere in between 0 and 90, or you can say alpha is an acute angle. Right, so if you draw the graph of the sine, so let me draw them for you. This is a full cycle of a sine. So this is 0, 180, 360. So this is basically 90. So we divide them by 2, add these 2, divide them by 2. So this is 270. Okay, so what do we know about sine theta is that sine theta should be in between -1 and 1. Ataupun normally we're going to call them as the amplitude. So 1 and -1. So the maximum value for sine theta is equal to 1. So this is the highest value and the value is 1. So this value, we're going to get them when the theta is equal to 90 degree. So sine theta equal to 1 when theta is equal to 90 degree. And we're going to get the minimum value or the lowest value when sine theta is equal to -1. Or you can easily see that we're going to get -1 when the theta is 270. So sine theta equal to 1, theta is 90. Sine theta equal to -1 when theta is 270. But that is for sine. So let us test for the cos. Okay, so cos. Cos theta also run in between -1 and 1, but the graph is slightly different. So we have something like this. So this is 0. This is 360. This is 180. This is 90. 270. So maximum 1, minimum -1. Okay, so cos theta also in between -1 and 1. So the maximum value for cos theta is equal to 1. So this is the highest point where the value of the y is 1. So we're going to get cos theta equal to 1 whenever the theta is equal to 0 or 360. For the minimum value, cos theta is equal to -1 when the theta is equal to 180. So there is only one value over there. Okay, so let us go to example 3. Express 3 sine theta minus 4 cos theta in the form of r sine theta minus alpha, where r is greater than 0 and alpha is in between 0 and 90 degree. Hence, state the maximum and minimum value of 3 sine theta minus 4 cos theta and find the values of theta, where theta in between 0 and 360, for which the expression has maximum and minimum values. So we need to know the maximum and minimum value as well as what is the value of theta so that we can get a maximum value, and what is the value of theta so that we can get a minimum value. Right, so firstly, we got to solve the first part first. So express in the form of r sine theta minus alpha. So should I give you a few minutes for you to try them? So I give you 3 minutes. That will do, I think. So 9:41. I'm gonna continue. So untuk siapa yang tadi tak berjaya untuk cari R dengan alpha, so boleh cari sekarang lah. What is the value of the R and what is the value of the alpha? 1 more minute to go. Okay, so it's already 9:41. Hopefully you guys are doing it and almost finished, I guess. Okay, so now let me expand them. In the meantime, you boleh sambung kira lah. Okay, so 3 sine theta minus 4 cos theta is equal to r sine theta minus alpha. So we're going to expand them using sine A minus B. So it will become sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. So we simply replace the A with theta, B with alpha. So theta, alpha, theta, alpha. And then we simply times everything with r. So it will be r sine theta cos alpha minus r cos theta sine alpha. And then we simply compare left hand side and right hand side. So on the left hand side we have sine theta. On the right hand side we have sine theta as well. 3 is actually equal to r cos alpha. In the meantime, so we compare cos theta. So this is cos theta, cos theta. So that means 4 is actually equal to r sine alpha. So we're going to have two equations over there. The first one is r cos alpha equal to 3. And another one is r sine alpha equal to 4. So we got the first equation, second equation. So basically you got to square both equation, add them together. So we're going to have r square cos square alpha plus r square sine square alpha equal to 3 square plus with 4 square. But I do some shortcut over there. So saya skip beberapa step. So we are going to have r equal to the square root of 3 square plus with 4 square. So r is simply equal to 5. So now in order to calculate the value of the alpha, so we need to obtain a tangent. So sine over cos, second over first. So we're going to get tangent alpha is equal to 4 over 3. So that means alpha is simply equal to 53.1. So now we got the value of the r, we got the value of the alpha. So let us go back to the first equation and substitute the value of the r as well as the value of the alpha. Okay, so now 3 sine theta minus with 4 cos theta is actually equal to 5 sine theta minus 53.1 degree. Okay, so now what do we know about sine theta? Okay, just a little bit of recap. So this is the graph for the sine theta. So this is 1, -1. So this is sine of theta. Okay, so what do we know is that sine of theta is simply in between -1 and 1. So sine of theta minus 53.1, it simply means that we are shifting our graph to the left hand side or right hand side. So kita hanya shift sahaja ke kiri atau ke kanan. Shift saja. Maksud kita gerakkan graph ke kiri atau ke kanan. But we didn't change what is the maximum or minimum. So that means sine of theta minus 53.1, it should still be in between -1 and 1. However, if you compare, we got a 5 over here. So you should times with 5 for everything. So that means the maximum value for 3 sine theta minus with 4 cos theta is actually equal to 5 multiplied with 1 because we got a 5 in front of the sign over here. So it's something like 5 times negative 1, 5 sine theta minus 53.1 less than 5 times with 1. So that is how we know that the maximum value should be 5 times 1, which is 5. So in order to get a maximum value, so if you refer to this graph, so we're going to get a maximum value whenever sine of something is equal to 1. So in order to get 1, this one should be sine of 90. So you can easily compare the left hand side, right hand side. So that means theta minus with 53.1 should be equal to 90. So we can easily see what is the value of theta. So theta is 90 plus with 53.1. So theta is 143.1. So kita compare lah. Kalau nak mudah sikit, kita tengok graf lah. Where is the 1? So the 1 is at sine of 90. So left hand side got a sine, right hand side got a sine. So we can easily compare what is the angle. Kita bukan cancel out sine tau, kita compare. Okay, next. The minimum value. So we got 5 multiply with negative 1. So the minimum value is actually negative 5. So the value of theta, again, if we draw the graph, so this is 180, this is 360, so this is 270. So we're going to get a minimum value when sine theta minus 53.1 equal to negative 1. So negative 1 is actually sine of 270 degree. So we got sine on the left, sine on the right. So we can compare the angle. So theta minus 53.1 is actually 270. So it simply means that the value of theta is 323.1 degree. So that is for example 3. So now let us go to the last example. Okay, so show that 1 over 3 plus square root of 5 is less than or equal to 1 over 3 plus sine theta minus 2 cos theta less than or equal to 1 over 3 minus square root of 5. Okay, so we got a value on the left hand side, right hand side, and as you can see, we do have something called the minimum value and something called the maximum value. Sebab kita ada nilai sebelah kiri, nilai sebelah kanan. So something to do with the maximum and minimum. That means this is something to do with R sin and R cos as well. So kita nak cari maximum dengan minimum. So we need to do either R sin or we need to do R cos. Okay, so think for a while. What is the R cos or R sin that you want to use? So if you around 2 minutes for you to think a little bit. Which one do you want to change into R sin and R cos? And if you change it into R cos, the value of the R, and what will be the value of the alpha? So saya bagi masa sikit sampai 9.50 ke 2 minit. Fikir sikit lah. Okay, so just in case you still need some time to think, so boleh pause pun boleh sebenarnya. Pause and then fikir dulu sikit and then sambung lah. Okay, so now, where do we want to use the other sign and so obviously you need to see where is the sign and the cos. So we have a sign and a cos over here. So that means we're going to use other sign and other cos. Okay, so which one? Other sign or other cos? Like I told you before in my tips, so boleh refer yang depan sekali. I give you some tips whether to use other sign or other cos. So if you see a sign over here, normally for me I'll say use other sign. So this is other sign, theta. So this is, we're going to keep the sign. So theta minus alpha. Okay, so now sine theta minus 2 cos theta, I'm going to change it into other sign, theta minus alpha. Again, we're going to open it as sine A minus B. So it will become r sine theta cos alpha minus r cos theta sine alpha. Again, we compare left hand side and right hand side. So we got sine theta on the left, sine theta on the right. So it simply means that the value here, which is 1, so 1 is equal to r cos alpha. And then if you compare for theta, cos theta, cos theta, it simply means that the r sine alpha is equal to 2. So we got the first equation, second equation, and in order to calculate the value of the r, of course, you got to square the first equation, plus with the second equation, you square them as well, and then simply factorize the r square. We're going to get cos square plus sine square. It will become 1. So r square is simply equal to 1 square plus 2 square. Or I skip some steps, so r is equal to the square root of 1 square plus 2 square. So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, so 1 plus 4. So that is how you get square root of 5. So now, what do we have is that sine theta minus 2 cos theta is equal to square root of 5 sine theta minus alpha. So if you want to calculate the value of alpha, that is fine as well. But since alpha didn't do anything with the amplitude, so itu hanya shifting saja, so I don't want to calculate my alpha yet. Okay, so sine theta minus alpha, it should be somewhere in between -1 and 1 because a graph for the sine is always in between -1 and 1. If we have theta minus alpha, it simply mean either we shifting to the left or we shift to the right. Okay, so if let's say you have square root of 5 in front here, so times everything with square root of 5, so that means negative square root of 5 less than or equal to square root of 5 sine theta minus alpha is less than or equal to square root of 5. Okay, so what do we need to do next is that we can change square root of 5 sine theta minus alpha. So this is actually sine theta minus with 2 cos theta. So we are back to here. So if you refer to the question, what do we do now is that we change this part, sine theta minus with 2 cos theta. So what do we need to do next? We actually need to have a 3. So we add 3 on both sides, and then we simply need to take the reciprocal for them. Okay, so now adding 3. Okay, so add 3 on the left hand side, right hand side, and right in the middle as well. So tambah 3 untuk semua. And then we're going to take the reciprocal. We're going to do 1 over. So what will happen with the inequality sign? So if you refer back to chapter 2, so basically, if let's say I give you some simple number, so 3 is somewhere in between 2 and 4. But if let's say we do 1 over 2, 1 over 3, 1 over 4, what happened to the inequality sign is that we're going to flip them. So instead of having less than, it will be greater than. So this is only true if the left hand side and right hand side, both of them are positive number. Okay, so we're going to take the reciprocal 1 over. So we have 1 over 3 minus square root of 5 greater than or equal to this, greater than or equal to 1 over 3 plus square root of 5. But this seems improper. Mana ada orang tulis macam tu. Pak, pak, buka, buka macam tu. So we're going to write them down in a proper way. So less than is the proper way. So 1 over 3 plus square root of 5 less than or equal to 1 over 3 plus sine theta minus 2 cos theta less than or equal to 1 over 3 minus z5. Right, and then that is actually what we want to prove. So proven, done, siap. Okay, so I think that's it for chapter 7. Okay, so that means tomorrow at 12, we're going to start with a new chapter called limit and continuity. Okay, so before we start with chapter 8, I guess I need to talk a little bit about your exam. So basically for your exam, chapter 7 will be covered in your group assignment as well as your UPS 3. So that means chapter 8, chapter 9 and chapter 10 are very crucial for our final exam. So do make sure to revise your chapter 8, chapter 9 and chapter 10. So tak boleh bertangguh-tangguh lah untuk 8, 9, 10. Mesti kena study banyak sikit lah. Sebab yang itu yang akan masuk dalam final exam. Okay, so with that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So thank you very much. Good night everyone. Bye bye.